Okay, I think 3 weeks is more than long enough to kill the vibe we were going for. Hi everybody, Alistair back to try and consistently make videos. Because as we all know, I'm just so very good at that. Anyway, I thought it'd be a fun idea this week to try a new little concept, a fun little thing my wife and I came up with. And I put it up on my DeviantArt, so if you want to try it, you can. A original character roulette, if you will. And how it works basically is there's a bunch of options. There's a letter category, and in those categories there's numerical options from 1 to 10 of what you could get. You take a D10 or a D12, whatever it is, a nerd dice basically. You roll it, and whatever number you get is what you get in that specific category. Which I will demonstrate herein, and I thought it would be fun to test it out and to see what we get. I am going to roll the dice, I'm going to get numbers, I'm going to take those numbers down, and whichever options I get, we are going to design that as a character. Yeah! I don't know what else to describe. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory, so let's go ahead and jump right in, I guess. Alright. Starting off, rolling a 6, so it's going to be my favorite animal. Cool. What are we rolling next? We got 5, so that's going to be sporty clothing, I guess. That's the styles. They're going to be a little sporty. 1 for hair. Okay, so they're going to have short hair. Another 1. Oh, that's boring. Blue. Okay, a little interesting. Short blue hair. Rolled a 10, so the eye color is going to be white. Interesting. 3 is accessories. I get a scarf. Cool. I guess I could have rolled for more, but I didn't. Rolled another 1, so the fur is going to be pale. Rolled an 8, so we got horns or spines. That'll be interesting. I think that's an interesting combination. Optimistic personality. I don't know how I'm necessarily going to emulate that in a picture. And they're an explorer. Excellent. Okay. Okay, so as usual, starting off with the complementary circle. I'm going to just go ahead and start off with the head and the general facial structure. Going to try staying closer to my traditional style. I might change a few things. So what I rolled for the species is my favorite animal, and for me that's a lion. So we're just going to go ahead and do that because that's the quickest and easiest one. Because, I mean, I can't think of anybody who has one singular favorite animal. I mean, everybody has at least more than one, but, you know, there's always the one that tops everything. For me, generally, that's lions. So we're going to go in that direction. Anyone who's ever seen my work before knows I have a pretty cartoony style. It's actually pretty heavily influenced by Osamu Tezuka's art style. But today we're going to try and we're going to change a few things. I'm going to try for some realism, like with the nose here. It's a bit more like how a lion's nose would be shaped. Not exactly, but pretty close to, I think. And we're not going to have such a round head. It's going to be more of a natural, like more oval shape. Because if you look at cats, I'm not sure if wide is the right way to describe their heads, but they do have that a kind of like more of a flat oval kind of system as opposed to just like a basic circle. And a lot of I think a lot of creatures generally do have more of an oval head. Typically you think a circle, but that's just what you want to start off with, and it will end up more an oval anyway later on. The ears are a bit more realistic with this picture. Normally I just kind of make 2 big circles or ovals, much like the head. And I just kind of leave it at that, but today I wanted to do something that's a bit more natural looking. You can see the folds in the ears and the creases and everything. It's a bit more natural looking. The body's coming along really quick with this one. I actually edited it, but the legs were giving me kind of trouble, and I couldn't get them big enough. They were either too skinny or they were too short, or the head looked way too big for the rest of the body, so it took me a few tries to get the head right. And as you guys have seen with a lot of my other pictures, it's pretty simple body types. or just like the poses, they're standing up, they're not doing a whole lot, anything really eccentric for poses. But with this one, you know, we got them kind of reclining a little bit. They're in more of a relaxed kind of, I'm not sure what the word to use here is. It's just a relaxed pose, I guess. There's a word there for it that I want to use, but I can't think of it. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it's just not coming to me. But you get the idea. We're going for something that's not super dramatic, but has a bit of character to it. Because I believe I rolled optimistic for the personality type. I'm sure I've said this already too. I am not sure how exactly to emulate that, except just kind of with more of a confident and positive outlook on what they're doing. Kind of. So to me, they're going to be more relaxed. They're going to have not necessarily a sense of urgency. Everything's just kind of be what it is for them. And with the explorer occupation, I'm probably going to do something with like an artifact or some kind of like trophy or treasure or something like that. Just to give like that the simplicity of the aesthetic while also actually presenting it. The arm's giving me a little bit of trouble there. Gotta try and thicken that out. And the hand gave me trouble too, because this hand was bigger than the other hand, so I had to, as you see right now, I'm reworking it so that's a little bit smaller. And when I draw, a big thing for me, a big problem is always looking back to make sure everything's proportionate, which it never really 100% is. It's never going to be, but unless I copy and paste like I did with the eyes and, you know, other parts of the body. But with a naturally things aren't super proportionate anyway, especially on like a body, you know. Your arms aren't exactly the same length, your fingers aren't going to be exactly the same length, things like that. But of course there is a big difference between having one meaty giant hand and a little regular hand. I think so anyway. Moving on to the hair. The thing required short hair, so I'm going to do just kind of like a common boyish haircut here. If you hear banging in the background, that would be my sister-in-law cooking in the kitchen. I think they're making chicken fried steak, which sounds really good right about now, actually. Try to get a good shade of blue in here, and I'm going to do like the tuft at the end of the tail blue as well. Just to kind of generalize that look and keep sort of a sense of consistency. Doing some shadow work here, some shading. I'm not going to over accentuate on this one. This actually took me a long time to draw. It took me like 2 hours. At the point of making this video speaking, I'm at like the 3-hour mark, which is ridiculous. I expected to be in bed by now, but I've been procrastinating making this video for a while. It's been about 3 weeks, and I just haven't had a good chance to get to it, but I mean, how many times have I given that excuse at this point, you know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. Moving right along here, getting sort of that glisten effect, making the hair look clean and sleek, which I like to do with a lot of my characters, and putting some shading in the ears there, just generally doing that. And looking at the video, it seems like a fairly simple piece, but it took longer than it looks like it actually did. And quick thing about the eyes, I know I rolled for white eyes, and I tried going for that, but it's hard to do white eyes without giving them some kind of accent color. In this case, it was more of like a teal or blue. They still came out looking pretty, but it just wasn't quite what I was hoping for. But I don't really have time today to mess with it and get something exact, because, you know, with white eyes, that's hard to do. Especially when, you know, the rest of the eye is white, and then you want, like, white irises as well. It's hard to do that without giving the impression that they're blind. Although I guess I could have rolled with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a blind original character. You can do that too. The fun thing about characters is every single one doesn't have to be some kind of like overpowered Mary Sue with infinite powers and the perfect edgy personality and things like that. You know what I'm saying? You can make characters in any kind of occupation or background. If you want to make a blind one, by all means. But that's not what I was going through here. Again, I probably could have, and that would have been interesting, but I just didn't think about it at the time. Yeah, the eye didn't come out. The iris color didn't come out quite the way that I wanted to, but I'm happy with it all the same because they do look really, really nice. We're almost done here. I like to save the clothing for last instead of just drawing it outright on the character because I like to save the bodies when I draw them, like the body types. And that way I can use them for other characters later on, or I can alter them for different species or characters or things like that. So it's easier to do when there's no clothing on the model, and then I can just add whatever clothes I want later on. I actually have entire pages. I think I've talked about this before. I have entire pages on my computer right now filled, and like my flash drive is filled with different pages full of just like body types and different styles and things that I copy and paste and alter slightly and edit for different characters and stuff just like this. If you want to see more of that, you can go to my DeviantArt, and you can actually I have commissions open, so if you want to see something like that, by all means, you're welcome to check it out. You're welcome to look, and if you want to request something, if you have characters that you want drawn but aren't necessarily gifted yourself, and more importantly, you want it done cheap, I'm your guy. I'm your guy. I mean, to do a character like this size, I'd probably run like $10, I think. Yeah, that's probably about what I've charged that. Because it doesn't take a whole lot of time. It takes, again, yeah, 2 or 3 hours, but a lot of that is also editing the video and getting everything nice and ready too. So I'd probably charge about $10 just to draw this, because boom, bam, it's done. Get it to you before too long. It might take a little bit longer if you want like really good shading and light effects like I've done before, but if you just want something basic like this, I have no problem doing that. Not to shill or anything. There you go. There they are. This random OC that I really don't have a name for. Maybe I should look into that.